contemplate the workings of the inner being. Your eyes are wide open, but are you really seeing? So if you're just tuning in, we are live today with Amber Sears.
The one and only.
The one and only, and one of my favorites. So before we even jump in, we just, for anyone that maybe hasn't seen us before, with everything going on, we decided that we would live cast our podcast recordings. So what you see here will be available on our podcast, Mentor in the Mirror, on all your favorite podcasting apps. This is episode 60. Is this episode 69?
69.
Oh, of course it is. Hey.
Turn it around.
That's fantastic.
That's magic. So, are you going to flip your hair?
Yeah, I was going to flip upside down. So.
You're shaking our virtual background though.
Yeah.
So my name is Cole.
My name is Ta.
We are
Ta
Cole. This is Mentor in the Mirror podcast. Today's guest, Amber, is all things magic. So everything from, she's a magical dancer. She's an incredible facilitator. And if you ever have the opportunity to take one of her retreats or work with her in any of her processes, I highly recommend it. She's one of the most integral, high quality human beings I've ever met and continue to meet. And it's something I deeply appreciate about you. So before we even dive into just some open dialogue about what's going on, what you're seeing with your clients and yourself, if you want to give people a little rundown of who Amber Sears is today.
So who I am today, I'm so many things. And I feel like I dabble in all of them on a daily basis, which is so exciting because I do a lot of business coaching for health and wellness entrepreneurs, but I also have a huge background in dance, teaching Pilates and yoga for 10 years, holistic nutrition. So I just have so many different tools and modalities that I've learned over the years to help me with my holistic lifestyle, but also help me help others with those tools. And so my journey really starts with dance. And I had a lot of, acute and chronic injuries that led me to Pilates and yoga and plant-based nutrition. And so I just became really passionate about a lot of tools and techniques that I had learned to help me along my journey. And then I was like, I got to give this out to people because there's so much transformation that can happen, which is even one of these tools, let alone all of them. So, but in the last 6 years or so, I've been doing primarily business coaching alongside my shamanic yoga retreats, which is like my heart is retreats. I love retreats more than anything. But since I moved back to the US in the last year and a half, I've been doing far fewer retreats than I used to when I lived in Costa Rica. So I do a lot of things, but really it's all coming from my heart. And that's what matters to me most is that I'm following my heart and living on purpose and doing service-based work that's really helping people transform and awaken.
Love it. And that's really what shows, is the consistent showing up, not only for yourself and your own transformational processes, but for your clients, really adding more tools to your toolkit and how you work with and process with people. And that includes everything from guiding them on quest to go work with elders, ayahuasqueros, and curanderas. So for you and people that are coming to you right now, what are some of the things they're coming with that you feel like you've been speaking to a lot that maybe someone listening to right now could relate to or is going through currently?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing I'm seeing is vibration. And talking about vibration has become my new everyday ritual, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, it's on my IGTV videos, it's talking in my emails with my clients. It's about maintaining their vibration. And I think a lot of people in our community understand the idea of fear and lower vibrational emotions affect their immunity and affect how they show up in the world, how they see reality. And to the masses, I think this is a newer-ish message to be getting out there, that there is a frequency difference when you are in a state of gratitude versus a state of fear, and what that attracts into your life and how you see reality when you are in a state of fear or scarcity or overwhelm. And so much of what I've been trying to do is just lighten the load a little bit with different practices, right? It's like teaching them Pilates, yoga, breath work, dance, holistic nutrition practices. Like in my Self-Love Warrior online membership community, I have a whole group for women that's dedicated to self-love and empowerment. And so much of what I'm giving them right now is immunity boosting strategies with nutrition and supplementation, but also things to help them calm their nervous system, like meditation and yoga, and other things that they love. It's really getting them back into their power zone of what excites you, what are you passionate about, what are you purpose driven about, and focusing on those things just during this time when maybe a lot of people are out of work or they're really, really, really struggling with figuring out what their next step is. So the first part is mindset and how we keep our vibration up so that then we can come up with more clear, decisive moves moving forward because we've got a clear head on our shoulders and we're centered and grounded. But I think a lot of people are not centered and grounded right now, given the state of the collective energy field. So that's really what I'm focusing on more than anything with people.
Yeah. What do you say to people that, because there's this polarity as well of people that are like, well, it can't all be woo-woo energy, guys. It can't just be positive thinking.
Of course.
How do you differentiate when you explain to people with the vibrational quality of experiencing your emotions, not skipping them,
right,
but actually embracing the emotions and then being able to transmute them, like kind of getting to the truths? Or what is your process if someone is coming to you like, well, I can't just pretend it's not happening, Amber?
Yeah, I think, and this is where the self-care rituals become so important because it's about journaling and sitting with yourself. If you've got a lot of emotions coming up, which by the way, this was me like a week ago, I sat on my meditation little bench thing in front of my altar and I cried for like a half hour because I was feeling the collective energy. I was also feeling all my own fear and anxiety coming up. And it was too much for me to just sit and pretend like it wasn't there. And so what I always recommend is that people let themselves feel their emotions. I think right now there's so much being dug up that's that's been in the shadows for a while, and most of us, that's coming up right now, emerging to be released and let go of, but we have to process it and feel it. And so that's not comfortable for most of us. Most of us have spent a lot of our lives avoiding our emotions, avoiding feeling our feelings. And so giving space for that it's okay to feel all the feelings. And yes, you can redirect to something that's going to lift your vibration as well once you feel the feelings. And I think this is the most important thing is, yes, there needs to be both. You can't spiritually bypass your emotions. It's only going to cause more suffering and create more of a low vibration because it just stacks up over time. But so it's processing it and then it's redirecting to what's going to help you lift your vibration in all the ways. So that's really my thought process on that.
Yeah. So what is your take on what vibrate? Because a lot of our watchers and listeners don't really get what vibration is. They think it's like, if my vibration is low, it's when my battery on my mobile phone is low and it doesn't vibrate as heavily as when it's when it's at 4 bars. So
I love you.
Why? Like she doesn't like my metaphors.
I love you. That is not true. I love you.
She hates my metaphors. And listen, man, I'm from the hood. So most people that I know from the hood, entrepreneurs or not, don't have any idea of what high vibration and low vibration is. And so, when you're speaking about high vibration and low vibration, what do you mean?
So what I mean by that is that there are biochemical changes happening in your body so everything is vibration, right? Our bodies are vibration, our environment is a vibration, and everything has a certain frequency, including our emotions, including our chemistry in our body. And so when we are in a state of fight or flight, which most of us are in right now, certain hormones are going through our system that are changing our brain chemistry, changing how we show up in the world, and how we react to the world. Right. And so it's a biochemical thing that can be explained through physics and science, and you can look at all the literature. So it's not woo, and that a lot of people call it woo because we're saying, oh, it's energy, everything's energy. And they start to turn off because it sounds too woo for them, too spiritual.
Right.
Cool. I get that. And I think that we can explain it in a way that's very literal through science, through physics. When you look at quantum physics, it's right there. Even quantum physicists at the deepest layer, they're still confused by the fact that when we intentionally look at molecules, they change. That just our perceiving them changes them. So there's still a lot of unknown in the scientific community for sure. And yet there's a lot of science that can really speak to how vibration is working, and vibration can be measured, of course. So it's all the science is there. If someone wants to look for it, they can find it. And I think it's really important that we start to speak to the Western mind in that way, because for you and I, we can talk about multi-dimensional all day long. We talk about planets and all the dimensions, but to really ground it into practical tools. And that's why for me, it's not even necessarily like we're going to try to get into the state of consciousness today. It's more like, let's just breathe. Let's just calm our nervous system. It's like the simple tactical tools that doesn't need to be explained by quantum physics. It's just reality that someone knows, when I breathe deeper, I calm down. That's just the nervous system calming down. And if you can explain it in that sort of just simple way, I think that that's what's effective right now, because people are also overwhelmed with information. Like they don't want to read textbooks on quantum physics.
Definitely. And so to thank you for that wonderful explanation. So to the merit of what you're talking about and what you do with dancing, that's definitely something that raises the vibration of a person's frequency because of the movement and because of the hormone release throughout the body. So could you tell us more about dance and how that would be awesome for people in this time?
Yeah, I think dance is one of the greatest medicines that we have access to that's free. Anybody can do it anywhere. It's free. It's your body. For me, dance, because I've been a dancer my whole life, I think I understand it maybe a little bit differently than the average person. But for me, dance is medicine for the soul. It is the language of the soul. It's an opportunity for you to express yourself in a way through your physicality, which you guys are experts, obviously, in this. And the wisdom of the body can really come through when we are willing to get out of our own way in our headspace and really just drop into the body, drop into the heart, and let what needs to flow. If you put on a crazy raging song, like maybe you needed that to let go of some anger and rage you were holding on to. If you put on a sad song and you start dancing sad, like it allows you to express emotions in a way. It's very cathartic in its language, let's say. And one of my favorite quotes is, "Dance is a language of the soul," and I could not agree more. I feel like it allows us to express things that we can't, and more importantly, like move emotion. So if you're right now, there cannot be a better time to be dancing. It's like so much stress and tension and overwhelm. Everyone's like this. And it's like, this is the time to be wild and free. This is the time to put on your favorite dance song and rock out like a wild animal in your living room and have a ton of fun.
Or your favorite tutu and bundle of bananas.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm saying if y'all haven't seen Amber dance, y'all need to hit her Instagram up and check her out.
And you've been streaming on Facebook, dancing with your husband. Like it's such a great thing to, like, you can feel it watching you dance.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also,
you move, girl.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I think dance really is also a really powerful way to connect to my source energy, like my higher self. If you want to get into the woo aspect, it's like my way to connect to my soul in a super, super deep way, where the mind goes out of the way and it's just what needs to move, moves. And I just flow with the music and I become one with the music. And that to me is magic. And same thing with singing. I'm sure, Cole, I'm sure you experience this with singing. It's like,
definitely,
mind checks out. You're just like channeling some unbelievable, beautiful vibrations, and you're just in the zone. It's a way to get into the zone, so to speak. Let's say maybe that's more language that maybe more people can connect to, is getting into flow state. It's a really powerful way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at how many cultures that dance is a part of celebration, and I think that not only celebration, but in times of sadness, sorrow, and whatever. And something in the United States that we've been conditioned into is you can't play until the work is done.
Right.
And so there are like these rules that we've not only taken on consciously, but subconsciously, that no, there's too many things we have to take seriously right now. There's no room for dance. We have to figure this out.
Right.
And the truth is we can do both of those things. Like the sheer idea that we cannot experience all of the things in a single solitary day emotionally is really limiting for ourselves, our experience, and what's possible. Because we already know an uplifted spirit has a higher immunity. That's why you go cheer your friend up if they broke their leg or they're sick. Like that's kind of like the whole point of it, is that hope, that uplift, or energetic shift is what reminds people, oh, it's not just doom and gloom. Oh, right, it's going to be okay.
Absolutely. I think we need the antidote to fear more than ever right now. And to me, that's celebration, that's gratitude, that's play, that's being super silly and weird. Like JP had an alien mask on with like medical gloves, and we were dancing around the living room like crazy animals. And that to me is what's needed more than anything right now. We need to lighten the load on the collective. And I think as leaders, it's our job to embody that and to showcase that you can be all those things in one day, like you were saying, Cole. Yes, there's fear. I'm not negating that whatsoever. And we can choose how we want to show up. We can choose what vibration we want to live in based on how we take care of our bodies, choose what we allow into our headspace through the media. There's so many energetic boundaries I think a lot of people are having to put in place right now with all the media and trying to just weed through, okay, this, I don't need to take this into my head right now. This isn't serving where I'm trying to focus, let's say.
Yeah. And, we live on a planet that always has peril and torture and really ghastly things happening on it all the time.
Yes.
So the sheer idea that all of a sudden we should get serious when it's like, I don't know where y'all have been, but on this planet, there has never been a moment where there wasn't significant suffering. Yeah. And we're not talking about on the other side of the world. I'm talking about at your neighbor's house, right? Yes. I'm talking about the kids that have been out on the street that now can't even get people to hand them money because no one's going outside. We have sex slave trafficking, and it's not to compare, it's to acknowledge that it's always there. Right. And if you finally get to spend time with the people you love, because you always said, man, I wish I had more time with my kids or more time with my spouse. This is an opportunity if you're willing to go, okay, well, can't work. Not sure how we're going to figure out the finance and things like that. But you know what? There are millions of people in this country that are going to be facing that. So we're going to have to, sort that one thing at a time. That doesn't mean you cannot go outside and play with your kids for an hour and laugh and bounce around and be silly or get in the kiddie pool in the backyard and, pretend to be a dolphin. Like, oh, we should do that tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's the only thing that's going to get us through, honestly, with our sanity, is to learn how to stay calm in the chaos. And I think these are great practices for doing that. I couldn't agree more, Cole. And I think remembering like how blessed we are to be in a first world country right now. There's so many people, billions of people on the planet who have a fraction of what we have in terms of our material possessions, our wealth. And it's our responsibility, I think, to really step up for those people. But like you said, there's stuff like this happening on a global level all the time. And I couldn't agree more. I'm like, where is this like crisis mode when millions of people are dying on the other side of the planet and no one even bats an eye? Like, I'm just like, but because it's on our doorstep, it's different. And this is
even on our doorstep, between diabetes and our current health crisis, like to me, this is just showing us how terrible our health is in this country. This is the example of if we're going to be empowered, we have to change how we're taking care of ourselves to begin with, because this virus for me gave everyone the opportunity to pause and see, where am I? And then what they choose to do with that awareness is up to each individual person. But it's just also knowing that where are my opportunities in this, as with any other kind of crises. And I did a video about this yesterday. Don't dim your light. If you're not if you're feeling like you're having a great time, you're like, are you kidding me? And my kids built a fort in the living room. We finally built a tree house in the backyard. This has been amazing. To give yourself permission to be in the amazing and not dim the light that you are in this moment. You might have your dark night of the soul or whatever at certain times too. It just might not be right now. And to dim it because you're afraid of what other people will think, you are actually denying the world what it needs in dark times.
Boom. Oh my God. So well said. Can we just like replay? That was absolutely incredible. I couldn't agree more. And I think what's so beautiful right now, Cole, is we are seeing our colleagues, our friends, our family, people getting online who have never, ever done a Facebook Live, who have never really posted much online. And I've seen a lot of my clients, like my previous yoga teacher training students and other people, they're just like, they're stepping up. It's like there's a light switch that just went on inside, service mode, like time to just spread the light. For the first time, this is like the thing that's pushed them into it because they realize how needed they are. And I couldn't be more excited, honestly, by what we're seeing in terms of people really showing up as leaders.
Agreed. And one thing that I've been working on with people, with the people that we've worked with in the past and with our clients, is giving them the availability to actually lose their shit. And, we're talking, everybody's like, calm down, but they've got this buildup of energy. And that's part of what the dance does. It allows people to kind of let things out. There are some things that dance is not going to let out. And like being able to lose your shit, I think, is one of the most important things for us in this time, is to be able to actually have somebody that can actually hold space for you while you lose your shit and acknowledge it. And be like, yeah, I see you, I hear you, and it's valid. Not calm down, stop it. This isn't PC. This is a time for people to actually be seen by the people that are proximal to them, and for us to start acknowledging the feelings that we're actually having in our bodies. People have been burying shit for years. They've been PC going to work, PC on the subway, on the train, commuting to work, in the office, all this PC stuff that's been built up. Now is a time where you have to be with yourself. So all of the stuff that's been sitting around that you've been covering up with work, you've been covering up with all this other stuff is coming to the surface. So for us to be able to have an outlet where we can actually express, I think is really important. And this is something I was considering doing too, was like having lose your shit with Todd time on Facebook and just come on and just say whatever you want. Right. So what you're doing, with your dance, what you're doing with your yoga, what you're doing with allowing people to illuminate things is awesome. And I really appreciate you helping people to get to that calm state by allowing them to really express fully through body. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Super. Yeah.
Yeah. I love you guys so much. We're so in alignment in how we love to work with people and what we feel is important right now. And, I love that idea, Tal. I think you should do that. I think that'd be really, honestly, super interesting, because I couldn't agree more. I feel like all the leaders of the families who are just trying to hold their shit together right now, they need an outlet. They don't have a community necessarily that they can go to and talk about this stuff. So hiring a coach, working with friends, doing these lives. I mean, the beauty is that we now have online communities where we can do this stuff and we can express in this way and share. So I love that idea.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Take it and run with it, sister. Go for it. The more people that we have expressing, the more people can get from that heightened sympathetic nervous system state to that parasympathetic, because once you can rev yourself up and you can bypass the sympathetic state where you are now, and it'll cause your body to just go back into that parasympathetic to recover, to get the immune system going, to get the recovery, the repair and the healing that we need to do for ourselves on a day-to-day basis, So, yeah.
And, there's definitely the acknowledgement that there are concerns of people having diapers and formula and, accessibility and all of that. And with technology, everyone can find what they need right now. Like, legitimately, you can, Ron Lynch started a group called IntelliHelp. It's in a bunch of different countries. There's even IntelliHelp Pets. So if people can't find dog food or they don't have the money. And one of the last time I checked, the main one, IntelliHelp, it was up to 35,000 people in this last short week and some change. And people post exactly what they need, what city they're in, and then people jump in and answer, cool, I sent it on Amazon. Oh, I live in that area. I'll put it on your front porch. Like what I've watched, and that they say no politics, no religion, no sales, right? Like you can't come on offering anything. Let people ask for what they need and you answer the call. Don't come in even offering. Just come in and answer the call for help. And it also causes people to get clear on what they really need, because people can only post once a week. Okay. So you can't have someone come on posting every day. They got on with very clear dynamics and very clear rules. So it's like, where is the help? If you stay stuck in the isolated state, you're not going to get what you need. So it's also forcing people to slow down and figure out what they really need right now. What's necessity versus what is luxury? Like right now, paying credit card bills, luxury. If that's going to stress you out and you're not going to be able to buy food, forget the credit card bills right now. You know what I mean? Stay with the essentials in this moment, in each present moment. And then part of that has to do with just trusting you'll figure it out from here. Because if tens of millions of Americans, their credit crashes, it's going to turn to the fact that they're going to have to adjust the credit system so that people can still get loans, because that's also what keeps our country together. So what kinds of things have you seen? Well, actually, we kind of talked about it at the beginning. I'm going to bring it back. For anyone listening right now, Amber, if you were going to send them a final message kind of from your heart to theirs, just an affirmation or one sentence or one statement, what would it be?
Right now, more than ever, I think the most important thing is to trust and surrender to the process that I think we're all going through. I feel like this is a massive awakening of the collective in many, many ways. And so always, how can we trust and hold our faith in times of complete despair? A lot of people are feeling that. So for me, it's always, how can I tap back into my heart? How can I listen to my heart more fully? How can I follow what excites my heart more fully than anything else? All of the distraction, can I tune back in? Can I reconnect to my soul, to my heart, to what lights me up, and follow that? And that can be the North Star in this unbelievable mystery of darkness we're currently in. And more than anything, it's like how we navigate the mystery is with trust and faith, and knowing that we have what it takes to walk through and get to the other side. And there is light on the other side. But right now it's about trusting and somehow enjoying the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have one more for you.
Yeah.
If you could tell everybody that's watching so this is Mentor in the Mirror, and it's about people knowing that they are their greatest mentor, and it's always in the mirror, and everything else is a perspective from the outside.
Yeah.
Your greatest teacher is in the mirror. And when you look at that person and they speak back to you, right? You speak to the person in the mirror and they speak back to you. What would you tell these people to say? Tell the people that are listening and watching to say to themselves, to teach themselves something really, really deep and awesome in this time.
So what I would suggest that you say to yourself is, I love you unconditionally. I accept all aspects of me, or you, the dark, the light, the perfect, and the imperfect. And I have faith that I am more than capable and limitless in my capacity to create my future. And that's about it, I'd say.
Awesome.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's not a little bit. That is not a little bit.
That doesn't fit on a small sticky note. If you keep going, that can still kind of like fit in this. Yeah, it turns into a poster board of affirming. Well, thank you so much, Amber. Where can people, if they want to follow you, reach out to you, come on a retreat? Sure. What's the best way to get in contact with you?
Yeah, best place to find me is epicself.com, which is my home online, and otherwise you can find me at Amber Lee Sears on Instagram, and also here on Facebook, Amber L. Sears. So Amber Sears, wherever you can find any social platform, you'll find me there. But Epic Self is my primary website.
You are definitely an epic self, sister.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for having me. This has been so fun. I love y'all so much.
Love you,
That's
girl.
mutual.
Thank you so much for your input. Thank you for your perspective. It helps. We are doing our best to shed as much light in as many directions as we possibly can, with perspectives from multiple people that we honor and we love, and we know have so much to offer. So thank you so much for being with us.
Yes, thank you.
So if you're listening or if you're watching, don't forget to first subscribe to the show on iTunes or your favorite podcasting app if you haven't already, because we've got so many amazing guests like Amber on the show. So after you subscribe, after you leave a review of how amazing the show was, or what inspired you, or who inspired you, then don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, share it with a friend. And until next time, I'm Cole.
I'm Ta.
This is
Mentor in the Mirror.
That too. Talk Hole and Mentor in the Mirror. So many things. Until next time, be free.